being on record for future viewing and for transcript purposes. The second one, may we request other participants to mute their microphones. So that would allow the speaker or the presenter to convey the message very clearly. So thank you for muting your mics. The main language to be used for this presentation is English. However, we do have members of our team who is quite fluent in Bahasa and Hindi. So if you have any questions or clarifications, you can actually put them, you can write them on the chat box, whether in English, Bahasa, or Hindi, and our team will actually answer those questions via the chat box. This webinar will actually last for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So to ensure that we do not go over the allowable time limit, should there be any questions or clarifications that are not covered during the 1 hour and a half, you can send us an email via customercare@grainpro.com, or you can send an email to our sales team. The presentation will be maximum between 40-45 minutes, and the next 40 minutes will be reserved for the Q&A. So there's enough time at the end of this presentation for us to ask our questions. All questions related to pricing, supply, and product availability, may we request that these be emailed to our sales team. And lastly, the video that you have seen earlier, plus a copy of this presentation, will be provided to all of the attendees. So I would like to thank everyone in advance for adhering to the mentioned house rules. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our presenter for this webinar. Our presenter for this session is Engineer Alnor Limbo. He is one of the technical experts of GrainPro related to hermetic storage innovations. Engineer Al, as we fondly call him, is a professional agricultural biosystem engineer and has worked with multinational seed companies before joining GrainPro. He has 8 years of technical experience in the agricultural industry, and that experience contributed to the development of innovative and a newer and innovative storage and transport solution. So Engineer Al, please start the presentation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the wonderful introduction. And again, I would like to thank all of you for participating or joining in this webinar session organized by GrainPro. And just like to repeat again, just in case if you have questions along the way in my presentation, you can write down your questions on the chat box, and our support team, the technical group, will answer the question for you. So the topic for today actually is all about the innovative storage and transport solutions. Okay, to begin with, we summarize the problems involving the storage and transport. So we segmentize the group of commodity such as the grains, seeds, high oil commodities, spices, and aromatic commodities. So we listed as well the problems involving in these commodities. Number one problem is insect infestations. It is present in grains, seeds, up to aromatic. Change in moisture content is a very common problem that we are encountering every day. Change in MC, I will discuss that later on. Molds as well. The molds is related with a change in moisture. Once the commodity absorbs the moisture content in the ambient, expect there will be a mold development. It is present in grains, seeds, high oil commodities, spices, and aromatic commodities. Another problem is about the oxidation and rancidity. This is very common in high oil content commodity like for peanuts, rice bran, and cocoa. Also, encountering problems in spices and aromatic commodities. Just take note for aromatic commodities. Best example is basmati rice, homely rice, and coffee. And for loss of aroma or taste, of course, this is involved with the aromatic commodities. Germination and viability, of course, experience with the seeds. The question now is, what are the cause of that problem? We have three factors affecting the cause of that problem. Number one is high relative humidity. The second one is the temperature. The third one is oxygen. For the insect infestation, we included the temperature because in Asian countries, most are tropical countries. So it means that the temperature in ambient is ranging to a 25 to 35 Celsius. So if you have that kind of temperature or temperature condition, it's very fast for the insect to develop and for reproduction. For change in moisture content, it involves two factors. We have high relative humidity and the temperature. For the high relative humidity, let's say you store your paddy 14%, you keep it for more than 6 months, let's say more than 3 months, and the ambient relative condition is about 75%. Expect that the paddy will increase the moisture, okay, through absorption of moisture. So for the temperature, just in case you have a high temperature, you keep your paddy for 14% and you leave it in your warehouse for more than 3 months. So from 14%, it may drop to 13% or 12%. So you already have the losses. For the molds, as I mentioned a while ago, they are connected to each other. Once there's a change in moisture, especially for high relative humidity, expect there will be a mold development. Of course, it will trigger the development more faster if this one is exposed in high temperature. Same as well with the oxygen. For the oxidation or rancidity, oxidation itself, the main cause, of course, is oxygen. This will trigger to become more faster in rancidity processing if we have high humidity and high temperature. Same as well for the germination, viability, and loss of aroma or taste. So now, most of the companies actually is trying to solve the two common factors. Number one is humidity. The second one is the temperature. So they are thinking that how we can control these two factors. So in their mind, the solution is to keep it in cold storage or air conditioned room, like for seeds, like for high oil commodities like peanuts, or even coffee. And they always forgetting about the oxygen. Okay, like as human, in order for us to live, we rely on oxygen in order to live. Same as well with this insect infestation, molds, and other factors. So now we will discuss more about hermetic storage. What is hermetic storage? Hermetic storage actually stops the movement of air and moisture between the outside and inside environment. In short, we are preventing the entry of air from the outside and air moisture penetrating our hermetic container. Same as well inside. The gas inside is also preventing and escaping. So basically hermetic storage, we are confining the uh, the atmosphere, especially the gas and the commodity itself. So if the hermetic storage has a very low oxygen transmission rate, expect that the oxygen will drop slowly and replaced by carbon dioxide through respiration process. Like as human, we inhale oxygen, we exhale carbon dioxide. Until such time that the oxygen level will drop at a very low concentration, let's say for 3%, what will happen to the living organism inside the hermetic storage? Insects will be suffocated, molds will be inhibited, so we can stop the mold development throughout the storage period. Hermetic actually is very effective in protecting and preserving dry agricultural commodities even without using chemicals or even without storing in the cold storage. Just take note, we have the humidity, we have the temperature, and we have the oxygen. If you can control the oxygen, we can bring down to a very low concentration, we can control the living organism inside. So what is the effect of low oxygen and high carbon dioxide? With this effect, we can control actually the insects because of suffocation. We can inhibit the mold development, and we can prevent the oxidation and rancidity. Again, oxidation is caused by oxygen. Oxidation and rancidity is related to each other. We can also preserve the germination and viability. There's a study that they store their seeds in anoxia environment. Anoxia means a very low oxygen level, and they found out that at very low oxygen, they preserve the germination. We have two methods in terms of hermetic storage preservation. Number one is modified atmosphere. Number two is controlled atmosphere. For the modified atmosphere, it means that we are modifying the gas naturally. Like, best example is the respiration process for insects or for human. Inhale oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide. For the controlled atmosphere, we are involving another gas to take out the oxygen concentration inside hermetic storage container. Just take note for this. If we say hermetic storage, it means that airtight. So if it's airtight, we need to take out or we need to reduce the oxygen concentration at a very low concentration. So how does the technology work? In the atmosphere, we have 100% gas. Nitrogen, we have 77 or 78%. Oxygen level is 20.9%. Carbon dioxide, 0.03%, and then other gases. For the modified atmosphere, as I mentioned a while ago, we need to bring down the oxygen level in order to preserve the agricultural commodities. If we can do that one, we can eliminate, again, insects, molds, even oxidation. So at what stage, let's say, can we say that we preserve the agricultural commodity? We protect the agricultural commodity. We have here, let's say we achieve 5% oxygen level. At this level, all insect activities stops. So hence, they prevent the damage or stop eating. Also, insects look for available oxygen. Let's say insects is present inside the bag, they will go outside and look for available oxygen at this level. However, if we achieve below 3%, expect the suffocation of insects, and expect inhibit the mold development. So this is the best example in showing to you how the insects react on the very low oxygen concentration. So in this picture, the capacity is 150 metric tons cocoon. Cocoon is a product of GrainPro. They stored milled rice. They keep it for 1 year. Then after opening, after 1 year, they have seen dead insects piling in this side here. The cause of this one is because of suffocation. The question is, how fast does oxygen drop? We have here, I will show to you the two samples. In answering the question, how fast does oxygen drop? We have two cases. Case one, if the commodity that you stored is infested, okay, expect that the oxygen level will quickly drop. As you can see here in the blue color here, at day one, they started the installation and the oxygen level was 20.20%. Then after 24 days, they achieved 3% level. So it's very quick. Within 3 weeks, it's below 3%. This one is for infested. While for non-infested, they started from 20.8%. Then after 24 days, still 17%. It's above 3% because our parameter, we need to achieve 3% or below in order to control insect infestation and etc. So key points, the higher the insect infestation, just take note of this one, faster the drop of oxygen level. It means that there's a lot of insects consuming the oxygen. Second one, if initially fumigated your commodity or low insect infestation, okay, expect slower drop of oxygen level. Another thing, if you store higher moisture content in the hermetic storage, expect faster increase of CO2 level, which can lead to fermentation or molds. That's why if you are using hermetic storage, we recommend to store at safe level moisture content. For paddy, we recommend 14%. For meal rice, we recommend 12%. For seeds, 12% or below. So take note in using hermetic storage, we need to keep it, we need to store it at safe level moisture content. So another thing, so we are down with a modified atmosphere. Again, modified atmosphere is natural process by biorespiration process. While the controlled atmosphere, we are involving external gas. Commonly used for external gas is carbon dioxide. As you can see here in the data and in the graph, at day 0, we did the flushing of 88% CO2 level, okay? And then after 26 days, still 61%. There's a slow drop of CO2. This is very normal, okay? Because our parameters, in order to control insect infestation, we need to maintain higher than 35% within 15 days. And we need to maintain above 55% CO2 concentration within 10 days to completely eliminate all life stages of insects, which includes the eggs, the pupa, the larva, and adult insects. Okay? So, for the modified atmosphere, natural process, okay, it takes time. It takes, let's say, 30 days or 40 days or 50 days. While for the controlled atmosphere, at the very beginning, at day 0 or at day 1, we already take out the oxygen and replace by carbon dioxide. That's why we can control insect infestation and other infestation at a very short period of time. In terms of application, let's say you decided to use hermetic storage and you don't know what kind of method that you'll be using. So if you plan to store your commodity for more than 3 months, we recommended the modified atmosphere. There's no need for CO2 flushing because the oxygen level will drop down as time goes by until achieving the 3% or below. But if you want to quickly control insect infestation with a very short period of time, because you cannot wait, let's say I need only 15 days. So we recommend to use a controlled atmosphere by flushing carbon dioxide. Another thing for the controlled atmosphere, if you are storing high oil commodities like rice bran, peanuts, we recommended to do a CO2 flushing because high oil commodity is very fast in terms of reaction in oxidation and rancidity. In order for us to prevent that one, we need to take out the oxygen at the very beginning of our storage by flushing carbon dioxide. So that's the difference between the modified atmosphere and the controlled atmosphere. So how to monitor the gas concentration? We're always talking about oxygen level, carbon dioxide. So we need a monitoring device in order to know what's happening in our hermetic storage. Number 1, oxygen analyzer. Of course, it measures the oxygen. The second one is carbon dioxide. It measures the carbon dioxide itself. The third one, we can use the EcoEyes wireless sensor. It measures the temperature, relative humidity, and carbon dioxide. The difference between the oxygen analyzer, CO2 analyzer to the EcoEyes wireless sensor, Okay, the difference is that for this two, oxygen and CO2, you need to go to the site. Okay, you need to measure manually. And like for the EcoWise wireless sensor, just put the sensor inside the hermetic storage, and then you can access your data. As long as, take note, you need a internet connection for this. Let's say you set up your cocoon in Thailand, and you are now in US, and you want to check your commodity, the temperature, humidity, and CO2. You can log in, you can use your username, password, and access those data. You can set interval. Let's say you can set every 1 hour transmitting the data. You can set 2, 3, or 4 hours, depending on the user. So these are the monitoring device that we can recommend. So let's proceed with the hermetic storage solutions. For the bigger capacity, we have, we call this one GrainPro Cocoon. It has a water barrier, air moisture barrier, UV protected, and air barrier. The capacity started from 5 tons up to 150 metric tons. So take note, we have a lot of different sizes depending on the client's requirements or depending on their operational cycle. The first one for the cocoon, we have GrainPro GHF Cocoon. GHF stands for gas hermetic flushing. It means that you can do CO2 flushing, so you have an option. The material made from PVC, lifespan up to 15 years. This cocoon is designed for PP or jute sack stackings with 5-year warranty. GrainPro Cocoon Cargo, made from reinforced PVC, more sturdy than the GHF cocoon. The lifespan is up to 15 years. This is designed for jumbo bags or big bags, like 1-ton bags. Warranty is 5 years. We have the GrainPro Cocoon Light, made from weather-resistant and lightweight cross-laminated polyethylene. Lifespan is up to 5 years. This is designed for PP or jute sack stacking. The warranty is 2 years. So you have here, if you're doing the stacking, let's say for jute sacks or PP bags, I would recommend the GHF Cocoon or the Cocoon Light. If you're into jumbo bags, we will recommend the GrainPro Cocoon Cargo. For the smaller capacity, we have the grain safe bag. The capacity is 1 ton. It is made from PVC, lifespan after 15 years, and the warranty is 5 years. The material is the same. The barrier properties are the same as well. The last one, we have the GrainPro Cocoon Indoor, made from polyethylene, 100 micron, its thickness. The available capacity is 5, 10, and 20 tons. Lifespan up to 2 years with 1-year warranty. Just take note for this one, for the PVC material, all of the PVC material has a barrier, okay, air moisture, UV protected, and air moisture and water resistant. For the GrainPro Cocoon Indoor, the PE material, it has no UV protection. So we recommend storing it inside the warehouse. And take note for the capacity, just for out of confusion, the 5 tons, 10 tons is based on wheat. So the capacity will change depending on the commodity or depending on the bulk density of the commodity. Let's proceed with the GrainPro Hermetic Transport Solutions. We have here the TransSafe Liner, or also known as the TSL. It is a transport solution to protect and preserve agricultural commodities while in transit. The application of TSL, it is used as an inner liner of a container. The capacity is 20 or 40-footer container. It can protect against odor cross-contamination, prevents condensation, eliminate insect infestation while in transit, protects against insect cross-infestation. Cross-infestation meaning insects outside from your commodity. It prevents also oxidation or rancidity of commodities and can also inhibit mold growth. So this is the TSL, usually used for sea transit protection, okay? Because in the middle of the sea, the temperature is fluctuating. And most of the time, the temperature is around 75 Celsius. So what will happen to our commodity? The 75 Celsius can dry your commodity. So there will be a moisture migration. What will happen? There will be a condensation. This can lead to mold development. If you have molds, okay, then you will be having a problem with the quality. Then it will be rejected. Okay. Aside from that, it can also protect from insects. So this solution is a 3-in-1 solution. We can protect and preserve the commodity from insects, from condensation, and also can maintain the quality. We have here the GrainPro transport or storage. It means that you can use it for transportation or you can use it for storage. We call this product as super grain bag. Take note, the super grain bag is an inner liner protection, okay, made from high strength polyethylene material with water and air barrier properties. Capacity is 500 grams to 69 kilograms. We have here the super grain bag RZ and super grain bag RT. The letter Z here stands for zipper. The letter T here stands for tie. So the Z and T is the mode of sealing or the method of sealing. Okay, for the super grain bag RZ, we need to seal it using the zipper track, while for the RT, using the cable tie. Take note, the super grain bag is an inner liner, so it means that we need an outer liner like PP or jute sacks. In terms of application, if you'll be into transporting within domestic or you want it for a local consumption, I would recommend the super grain bag RZ. But if you want to do the exporting, we recommend the super grain bag RT. Then we have a small bag. The capacity is 500 grams. We call this one super grain bag sample bag. This one is usually used for sending coffee samples to the clients because the exporter wants to ensure that the quality is being preserved. So that's why they need a barrier. So for the super grain bag, you can use for coffee, you can use for seeds, or any high valued commodities, including the spices. We have super grain bag forte. It is a standalone bag that doesn't require outer liner. Okay, store your commodity, keep it, then you can ship it. The material of this one is 150 microns. It's more thicker comparing to super grain bag RZ and super grain bag RT. We have for bigger capacity for storage or transport. We call this one super grain bag high capacity. This one is used for inner liner protection made from polyethylene. So we only supply the inner liner. And if you want outer liner, we call this one FIBC hermetic pouch used as outer liner protection made from polyethylene. This one is mostly used for flushing or fumigation. So from the warehouse, okay, they put the two bags here. They cover with this hermetic pouch. Then they do the CO2 flushing. Then they put in the container and then go. The FIBC hermetic pouch actually is a warehouse to warehouse protection. So we can protect your commodity from your warehouse up to the client warehouse. So once you use this one, you can advise your client to, if not open, they can use it and store another commodity. So For the rice bran storage, this is the best example. Rice bran has a high oil content. After doing the milling and the rice bran is exposed in temperature, especially high temperature, okay, the rancidity process is very fast. So what will happen within 24 hours, you will see that the free fatty acid or the FFA will increase. So what the feed miller companies are doing after milling, they keep it in the hermetic storage. In this, in this experience, they use a cocoon, 5 metric tons, and their objective is to protect and preserve the quality of their rice bran from rancidity and insect infestation. And also they want to see the change in FFA or free fatty acid and moisture content after storage. As you can see here in the graph, from 20.9%, let's say about 20%, they achieve below 3% after 40 days. So below 3%, control insect infestation, and also we can maintain the FFL level. As you can see here, we have the blue color here, which is the moisture content, and we have the yellow one here, the free fatty acid. After 2 months, there's a slight change in moisture for this one, for moisture and FFA. But still, the MC and FFA pass on the quality standards. So the challenges that they solve, they control insect infestation because of below oxygen level. They prevented the oxidation. The final FFA level is within the initial FFA. This is very important. Unlike storing it in ambient environment, you cannot keep rice bran for more than 1 month without increasing the FFA level. So as you can see here in the results, they achieve below 3% after 43 days. So as I mentioned a while ago, we have 2 cases. How fast does oxygen drop? If infested, within 30 days, we can achieve below 3%. But not infested, it will take time. So as you can see here, there's sampling done through random. So they take out sampling, so expect that the FFA will be different from the initial. And FFL level remain low due to high CO2 and low oxygen inside the cocoon. Hence, it limits the oxidation. We have here for the coffee storage. For the rice bran, their problem is oxidation. For the coffee, this one is in Costa Rica. They store coffee in a hermetic cocoon, 5 metric tons. And their objective is to compare the coffee storage performance of hermetic cocoon and warehouse. So the initial moisture content before storing in the cocoon and in the warehouse was 11%. As you can see here in the bottom, in the right side. After 6 months, the moisture content in the hermetic cocoon is 11.5%. While for the warehouse, 13%. So there's an increase of 2%. So let's go here with the relative humidity. The relative humidity or RH recorded was 54.2% minimum, and the maximum was 57.4%, and the average is 56.43%. That's why they maintain at least within the range of 11%. However, for the warehouse, let's see here. The minimum recorded was 33%, and the maximum is 88.3%, and the average was 69.72%, 74%. So at 65% relative humidity, if you let your commodity, like for coffee, expose in that kind of humidity, expect there's a change in moisture content. Okay? So what is the effect of change in moisture to the quality of coffee? We have here the cupping results. Take note that the cupping result was captured by blind cupping. So they don't know which one is from the cocoon and from the warehouse. So the parameters or the metrics for testing is taste, aroma, body, acidity, okay? And then the measurement is zero point 0.5 is the lowest and 5 is the highest. Let's proceed here after 6 months. In the hermetic cocoon, from initial 4, okay, 3.5, taste, aroma 3.5, body is 4, acidity is 4. In average, the cupping average is 4. However, for the coffee in sacks, 3, 3.5, 3, 3.5, and 3. For in bulk, 2.8, 2.5, 3, 3, and average 3. Their observation that, based on the report, their observation for the hermetic cocoon that the coffee is still in fresh condition, while coffee stored outside the cocoon, it is like an old crops or harsh flavor. So this is the example for the coffee. So we have with the oxidation, we have with the change in moisture, how it affects the cupping quality of coffee. Let's proceed with the seeds. For the seeds here, this was in Philippines. They use a hermetic cocoon. They store paddy seed. Their parameters actually, they use a cold room storage, number one, air conditioned room, okay, conventional storage, which is the warehouse, and hermetic cocoons. Okay, their objective here is to determine the most cost-effective for seed storage. So for the oxygen concentration here, we have 3 lines represents the each cocoon. From 20%, it drops after 15 weeks to below 4%. So we will see how it affects the germination and viability. For the seed vigor, the blue one here is the cold room storage. The yellow one here is the air conditioned room. The green one here is the hermetic storage. The red one here is the warehouse. So starting from 0 month, it has a very high seed vigor. However, after 3 months, it drops 66, 70, 66, and 40 for the warehouse. Then after 9 months, the result was 68, 67, 63, and 36.43. So it means that for the warehouse, they cannot control they cannot properly maintain the seed vigor. While for the air conditioned room, cold room storage, and hermetic, they almost maintain the vigor, at least above the quality standard. For the seed germination, as you can see here, after 3 months, still above the standard, 85% seed germination. However, after 6 months or within 6 months, the germination for the warehouse drops to below 85%. It means that not pass on the quality. So we need to reject this batch. However, for the air conditioned room, cold storage, and hermetic storage, they extended the germination above 85% up to 9 months. So as you can see here, so ranking of technologies from most to least cost-effective stored for 3 months, they recommended you can use the conventional storage, their number 1 pick. The second pick is hermetic storage, air condition, and cold room storage. However, if you plan to store it for more than 3 months, their peak actually is hermetic storage in terms of cost-effective storage, okay? Number 1 is hermetic storage. Number 2 is conventional storage. Number 3 is air-conditioned room. And number 4 is cold room storage. Okay, let's proceed with the red chili pepper. This is in India. It's a private company. They tested the RCP because they want to see on how they can control the mold, especially the aflatoxin. And they want to see also the moisture, if this will change after 2 months. So for the result here, we have a lot of samples. This is super grain bag. As you can see here, the moisture content is 4.5. Then after 2 months, 4.3. It's still within the range of 4.5. And the aflatoxin is 0.5 recorded here. Then after 2 months, still the same 0.5. So on average, there's no changes in terms of afla from initial to final. And other sample in terms of the quality difference after 2 months. As you can see here, ordinary bag storage, this is the sample. Okay, I just only got this from my colleague on their trial. And then this is the hermetic bag. So in terms of pricing, it's different. So we have other application of hermetic storage. We have a feed miller company. They're using the rice bran as one of their ingredients for feeds. Most of their challenges actually, number one, if you're talking about rice bran, oxidation. Then the second one is insect infestation. Then free fatty FFL level. So I already mentioned the cause of the rancidity. So I will skip this one and let's proceed with other commodities. We have here the feed raw materials outdoor storage. Okay, this one is, they use a 150 metric tons cocoon. They store corn, broken rice, and rice bran. Here in the Philippines, actually, rice bran is quite expensive, especially during the peak season. So the private companies, especially the feed miller companies, what they are doing in order to save money, they are buying a lot of rice bran during the harvest season. Then they keep it. However, they cannot keep it for a long time. That's why they're using hermetic storage to preserve the quality. So what other feed miller companies are doing? They are buying during the peak season. So the harvest season and the harvest season and the lean season, they have different in terms of price. So what's happening is that they spend more on their feed ingredients. So aside from protecting the quality, actually, we can also maintain all year-round supply of your feed ingredients. And there's no need for reformulation or look for alternative feed ingredients. We have here in Bulog, 150 metric tons. They are using the cocoon as a buffer stock. Okay, because they want to preserve the taste of their rice, the softness of their rice. So that's why they are using this hermetic storage. We have for corn, they're using it for food security in Africa. So challenges solved was insect infestation, molds, and they can provide immediate supply just in case there's a disaster happen. Then paddy storage, of course, we can preserve germination and vigor as long as you are using hermetic storage. Control also insect infestation and molds. We have here organic brown rice indoor storage. Brown rice is also considered as a high oil commodity. So we need to protect it from oxidation. But for here, they are using the cocoon as a flushing chamber. They store their organic rice and flush carbon dioxide and leave it for, let's say, 15 or 21 days. Not only controlling insect infestation, but also maintaining the FFA levels because of low oxygen. Same as well for the wheat, same concept with the paddy and corn. We have also wheat indoor storage. They are using the cocoon also for as a fumigation chamber before exporting or before processing. We have basmati paddy rice here. They store it outdoor, okay? Instead of building a new warehouse, actually you can use cocoon and install it outside. So insect infestation problem solved. Maintain also the paddy quality. Then organic food, they are using the cocoon as a fumigation chamber. Same thing as well here, using the cocoon as a fumigation chamber. You know, the difference between the hermetic storage cocoon and other plastic liner, okay, this is what I observed in my field visit. They are using a PE liner and they flash carbon dioxide. So the client is asking me, why is it the CO2 is always dropping? I told my customer that the PE liner has no gas barrier. So that's why they are keeping flushing CO2 every day. Or they want to maintain 35% CO2 concentration. That's why they keep on flushing, flushing, flushing. Unlike for the hermetic storage, one-time flushing only, okay? You can save a lot in terms of the carbon dioxide. With outdoor storage, as you can see here, there's a lot of cocoons piling. They store 10,000 metric tons of wheat. Again, instead of building a warehouse, you can use hermetic storage as an option. So for the transport solution, we have pepper in Vietnam. So you can see here, pepper is very hygroscopic. It means it is really fast in terms of absorbing moisture. So once you ship it, their main problem is, aside from condensation, moisture absorption lead to molds. But when they use this one, the TransSafe liner, it prevented the condensation, then prevented the moisture absorption, okay? And then our client is very happy because it can maintain actually the quality, even in different climate. When you say different climate, ship here in Vietnam, very hot, then ship in a cold weather, cold climate, okay? Still preserve the quality. Same as well, actually for the pepper in Vietnam, they're shipping into Poland, Russia, Spain, and Italy. So for their case actually here, they are flushing carbon dioxide to prevent the water condensation on top layer and also inhibit the mold growth, at the same time control insect infestation. Aside from flushing, they are using also desiccant. So if you plan to purchase a TSL, part of the package actually is the desiccant. The purpose of desiccant is to absorb the moisture. So just in case that we have a very, very drastic climate during the sea transit of your commodity, and there's a moisture penetrated in our TSL liner, the TransSafe liner. So the backup plan, the desiccant inside the TSL will absorb that one. So we can prevent the moisture absorption or condensation. Same thing as well in Sri Lanka. They are exporting turmeric. Also in Latin America, cocoa. Actually here for the cocoa, their problem is how they can maintain the FFA. So before they are not using the TransSafe liner or the hermetic transport liner. After using the TransSafe liner, actually the FFA level was really maintained from their port to client's port. Same as well for the organic rice in Vietnam. So same concept, they do the CO2 flushing, then ship. Let's go with the features, benefits, and advantage. So the hermetic storage and transport solutions, it has a air barrier and a moisture barrier technology. It is collapsible. Let's say you have 150 metric tons cocoon, okay? If you fold that one, okay, if you fold the 150 metric tons, it is just like a one pallet size, Then you can transport it to another warehouse. That's why it's collapsible. It also UV protected. You can set up outside. So we don't have problem in terms of the quality deterioration of the GrainPro products. So take note, for the UV protection, it's only for the PVC material. For the benefits, we can save money caused by spoilage or losses like weight loss, insect loss, mold loss, and etc. We can also prolong the shelf life for year-round availability. For the manufacturing or feed miller company, flatline formulation costs despite fluctuating market prices. So they can save money from the fluctuation of price. They can buy now when price is low, and then they can store it, they can consume it time to time. Also secure hygiene and health. So mentioning health, okay, we mentioned also the aflatoxin. If we can minimize the aflatoxin or we can inhibit the afla development, actually it's very good for our health. We can also reduce cost per unit for bulk purchasing. We can maximize our capital with minimal maintenance for the cocoon. And for the advantage, control insect infestation, it prevents the caking. Caking actually, if you want to store sugar, it can help you to prevent caking. Preserve freshness, aroma of commodities, preserves the nutritional value, inhibit mold growth, and inhibit aflatoxin. We can showcase to our clients that we are using hermetic technology in controlling or preserving commodities without using any chemicals. Can be used in extension warehouse, can be transferred from station to station, and can be used for 10 years or more. Actually, we have clients here in the Philippines. They started using the cocoon, 150 metric tons, I think 20 units, since 2004. Up to now, they're still using it. So in terms of quality, durability, I can guarantee you that the cocoon product is very, very durable. So these are the GrainPro partners in Asia Pacific. So anywhere in Asia, we are present. We have partners, very cooperative partners who are helping GrainPro in promoting the green global revolution in preserving agricultural commodities. Okay, so just in case you have questions related to sales, lead time, and etc., you can contact our sales team. They have their respective territory, they have their contact number and email address. Just in case you have questions with the technical matters, you can contact me. I'm Alner Limbo and my colleague Sujit Patil in India. And that's all. And I hope you learned from me. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Al. So if this is actually our question and answer portions, if there are questions that were not covered in the chat box, you can already voice out your questions for this session. Anybody? We are opening the floor for further questions.
You can name some companies, those who are using in seeds.
Seed company, is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of the companies which you have shown is other than seed. So is many companies are using this in seed business?
I will ask my boss if I'm allowed to say the name of the company.
Good evening, good afternoon, sir. We do have several seed companies who have been using our products. For purposes of non-disclosure, we are not allowed to disclose their names. But if you can actually share us your contact numbers, we can ask one of our sales team to get in touch with you. So he can discuss with you the solutions that we have done for several of our seed company customers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, my name is Sadat, and I have a question regarding CO2 flushing of paddy. There is a question also being asked in our chat whether CO2 is used as a kind of egicide. Will it affect the eggs of kind of a pest? And if we have to maintain its level around 55% within first 10 days and then 35% up to 15 days, how about if our shipment takes around 45 days? Will there be kind of a resurgence of pest? Especially in organic rice shipment.
Yeah, the question is about the for transport, right? For CO2 flushing for transport.
Yeah, for the transport.
Okay, so actually there are a lot of companies using a CO2 with a TSL and flush with carbon dioxide. And actually their main purpose actually is not only for condensation, but for killing insects. And as long as we ensure that the installation was properly done, okay, and achieve the CO2 concentration above 80%, okay, and then we can ensure that along the way in the shipment, we can control insect infestation. But before actually doing the CO2 flushing, we are conducting a leak test. We call this one pressure decay testing. So once it passed in the leak test, okay, then we can start the CO2 flushing. You will see in the leak test actually if there's a small hole in the liner, okay, you will see on the pressure decay testing. Just in case it passed, then you can start the flushing. If not, then look for the possible hole or tears.
Yeah, but it's difficult to monitor the level once it's shipped versus once it is stuffed inside the containers. And how will come to know that whether it's acting as an egicide or not? The issue is that live insect will certainly be killed because if we will flush CO2, it will kind of absorb the oxygen. And if the oxygen level will drop, CO2 level will increase, certainly the live insect will die. But the main question arises about the eggs. And for how long those eggs can be protected for further breeding of pupa or something like that.
Okay, Mr. Sadiq, good afternoon. We for CO2 treatment during transport, once we actually flush enough carbon dioxide inside the transafe liner, and assuming that the carbon dioxide level doesn't go below 35%, then we can actually do we can actually perform a good fumigation in a matter of 15 days. You are right, sir, when you mentioned that it is actually difficult to measure CO2 concentration when the liners and the shipping containers are already on transport. But the liners, the transafe liners actually have the same gas barrier properties as that of the cocoons, and it can actually hold 35% and above level of carbon dioxide for more than 15 days.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of a porosity level of these products being used. Means they could be tested separately that if you are flushing CO2 inside those outer liners, for how many days they can contain that gas or that level. That will show us that if we have to ship a product for the prolonged time period, like let's suppose from Asia to America, it might take 30, 35 days or 45 days.
Yes, sir.
That's the question which arising, especially at Pakistan and those who are shipping the organic rice.
I think, Mr. Sadiq, we can share you some of our experiences of shipping goods from Asia to Europe and to the US. We have done several shipments with the Transafe liner already. And so far, we received, the feedback we received from the importers in the US and Canada is that the oxygen level, the carbon dioxide level is still high, over than the 35%, over than the 35% that we have recommended. I think we can put one of our sales team to be in touch with you, so he can discuss with you about the solutions and how the process of the TSL shipment will go.
Thank you. And you may carry out an experiment at your end, and like in next kind of a webinar, we can share the results. Simply putting CO2 in outer liner and then monitoring for how many days it can contain at that level.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the suggestion. We will do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, one more question. Sir, this is a hermetic storage is the good process and also new initiative. But apart from this, can we have any control before that? Because we heard some of the guard polymers and what we call ovicides. If it is the condition, what will be the impact of hermicide storage capacity as well as this other traditional types like guard polymers, ovicides in nature which are present at existing conditions? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, can you repeat the question again?
Yes. At present, this is one of the good technique to control insects. Apart from this, we have the guard polymers and other things which control the insects. What is the difference in between these two? And also, what will be the which one is the most effective in this case? Whether it may be hermetic storage, or it may be the guard polymers, or the chemicals, or the ovicides, which we, in some cases, we do use.
Sir, I will take this opportunity to answer your question. This is Avinash, Regional Manager, South Asia and Middle East for GrainPro. So basically, chemical treatments give results in just 1 or 2 days, right? But in our case, with respect to our technology, we are handling the insects, pests, keeping them away by using natural procedure, by using carbon dioxide, right? And as you know, in the world is moving towards greener technologies, right? So using carbon dioxide, it helps to get rid of insects within a span of 12 days, provided the artificial CO2 fumigation is done, right? Whereas by using methyl bromide or ALP, it takes around approximately 2 to 3 days to get rid of insects. But the comparative advantage of GrainPro airtight storage or Hermetic technologies, not only insects, but also eggs are killed in a span of 12 days when the oxygen percentage goes down below 5%, right? So this is one of the advantages. Second advantage, when it comes to chemical fumigation or chemical treatment, the clients have to do repeated fumigations because the insects are killed, but the eggs regerminate, right? Whereas in case of our technology, not only live adult insects, but also eggs are killed, right? The only thing is after the treatment process or during, once the storage period is over, a client must not expose the material for cross infestation with other stacks, right? So these are the comparative advantages with respect to other chemicals which you are talking about. So it's not only a after treatment process, but it also is a preventive measure wherein you don't allow any insect infestation to happen when it is used with GrainPro solutions. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you please?
Just I would like to ask one question. So if I see this one, the packaging, the capacities which you are having, it is starts from I think 25 kilo and above. Because most of the SKUs, the pack sizes which we pack at our unit may not be 25 in case of rice. Especially I'm talking for the rice. Maybe sometimes we go with 10 kg or 5 kg, 3 kg. Do you have some solutions for this kind of packaging, packing the units?
Mr. Byra ready? This is Alan Quintas. Yes, we do have some packaging that are less than small ones that ranges from 10 kg, 30 kg sizes. Other than that, lower than that, we have none anymore as of this moment.
Yeah, thank you. Any plan to develop in future for less SKUs?
That can be discussed with management. So far, we have discussed that. We're just waiting for some developments if we're going to push through with the lower capacities.
Yeah, that is the why I am asking, because in the market, in the Indian scenario, if you see, if eggs are there after being packed, suppose if your technology can able to kill the eggs, then if you pack in such a this one a packaging material, we need not to worry till it goes to the customer. So whether it is going to, whether later the eggs are going to be hatched out and it will insect infestation in the transit or storage. That is the reason I am asking. And also if there are any shipments, so we cannot have this kind of solution, maybe 1 metric ton or 150 metric ton at each and every stage. We cannot assure you, but if you can go with the packaging material, that then it is going to be 100%, it is assured till it reaches to the customer. Now after storage and packing, there is a lot of till it reaches to the customer, there is a huge time gap is there. In that time, anytime the cross infestation or else the development fungus or anything may happen.
Yeah, that
Well
is
noted,
under.
sir.
Yes. If I may, if I can share the client's experience in terms of the packaging and problems with insects. Sir, what they're doing actually here, we have a client in Thailand. They're into organic rice, so their problem actually in the packaging. But when we do the analysis, actually, then we found out that the solution that the best for them is first, before the packaging, we do the treatment in a hermetic cocoon, either 1 ton or 1 ton or 5 tons. So treat first, let's say your rice, okay? Do the CO2 flushing for 15 days, maintain 35% CO2. And after that, after flushing, okay, I mean, after the 15 days treatment, do the packaging immediately, okay? Then seal it, then you can protect your rice. Actually, as long as the moisture content is right, actually there will be, I think, no mold development during the storage.
I agree with you, but sometimes in the practical scenario, it may not be possible as soon as you take a material out of the cocoon or else the hermetic sealing, and there will be some times lapse. Maybe not in our control. Sometimes it may not happen immediately after taking out of the cocoon or hermetic sealing. There may be some time gap. In that time gap, if there is any cross contamination, So it may not be, it will not come to the limelight when we are packing it. So are some, if moths are there, if it is getting, if it is laying egg, then it will come to limelight only after reaches to the customer. The whatever solutions which we are providing, see that it should at customer level, it should even it should carry forward, and we should not get any complaints. Right now, the kind of problem which the rice producing companies are having, so we do fumigation, the all these measures at plant level. So everything, so here nothing is being visible. If eggs are there, if it cannot be killed through fumigation, same thing, it will be packed, and when it goes to the customer, in the process it is getting hatched, and customer receives the packet with the live insects. That is something which all we have to think, and how best we can control it through your solutions.
Agreed, sir.
Able to
Agreed.
develop.
Yeah,
That
this
is
is a
where,
wonderful.
because yeah, whatever you are having right now, okay, we can avoid this one, this kind of the infestation level, that we can safeguard our material in the warehouse. But what about the at customer level? So still we may have same kind of feedback. uh, so there is something which is going to impact our brand image. So if you
Yeah,
can develop some solution towards this perspective, it will be very useful.
sir, it's a wonderful question, and I mean, your point is completely valid. So we work with leading basmati players in India. We work with some of the leading seeds multinationals also, and also some of the leading retail brands all over India, right? And there are majority of our players who are into exports business, right? So there are two ways or two approaches to look at our technology. One is like a preventive measure, and one is after, I mean, during storage and after storage. So we have solutions starting from preventive and even after packaging and shipping out. So as Al in his presentation covered, we have container liners, transafe liners, and hermetic pouch. Okay. So the beauty of these products is even after during transit, the goods are being protected, right? Some of our products can use to continue the storage even at the customer's level internationally, even after the exports, right? Now, I myself personally have experience of more than 12 years in this technology, not only in India, but South Asia and Middle East as well. And almost negligible complaints. In fact, we have a lot of accreditation and certificates coming from clients that even after shipment and the customer has received the commodity, no infestation or no regermination is found. The best suggestion or the best thought I can put is, if you go on Google and put GrainPro super grain bags in Google, you'll find number of recommendations coming from coffee industry, how beautifully these products are helping them to continue to preserve the commodity even after reaching to international clients. But then we would like to interact more with you. Please write to us or get in touch with us. We can have detailed discussion. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you, Avinash, because the coffee example we cannot copy with the this one, or rice, because the way in generally in India the business and the supplies happens, so it is totally different. So we maybe if you can involve in the this one little bit, if you can understand, so that you can provide the best solutions for our the rice uh,
Industry.
industry.
Sure, sir. Just one
Yeah,
point
maybe
which I missed out.
I wanted to involve the way it is being packed, and also the way it is being shipped to the market, and the C end of distribution unit, how it is getting invoiced from distribution unit to the sales point or retailer point. If you can understand that chain, so you'll come to know, because the what kind of solutions you may have to come up from your company.
Most welcome. Sir, one point I just missed out, which is very important. All our solutions, all GrainPro solutions are being developed under the support and knowledge sharing with International Rice Research Institute. So the first major commodity of strength of GrainPro Hermetic solutions is rice.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sorry.
Just recently, we had several inquiries on vacuum packaging, and they were insisting that they're better compared to our products. Now, I don't know if it is a trend when it comes to coffee packaging, because based on our experience, we already have received more than 3 inquiries insisting that they want those which can be used for vacuum packaging. Now, my question is, how can we compare our product, GrainPro products, compared to those which can be used for vacuum packaging? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of doing this vacuum packaging? Because some of the reasons which we receive from our clients is that if they use vacuum packaging, it is more easy to stock. They can put blocks of coffee beans already vacuum sealed into the boxes, maximizing the space inside the box, and it is more easy to palletize. So that is my first question. How can we compare our GrainPro products with those that can be used for vacuum packaging? Because we requested the client to try, they were saying it's not good for vacuum packaging, and it's so thick, like it doesn't form based on their expectation compared to those which they're currently using already. And my second question, okay, you can answer that first.
Sir Arnold, this is Melanie. So please allow me to answer the advantages of using the vacuum packaging versus hermetic storage. As per insect infestation, when using vacuum technology, it is very expensive because we need to maintain a partial vacuum which is around 100 millimeters of mercury. So it is very low, and we need to maintain that for several periods. As with hermetic storage, we just need to have to use the natural respiration to control the insects. So with expenses or with economics, it is more expensive to use the vacuum packaging to control the insect infestation compared with hermetic technology. With vacuum technology also, most plastics that they are using is not equipped with a gas barrier. So if the commodity is with aroma, or the compounds that the commodity is containing compounds that are aromatic, so that is volatiles. Those are volatiles. And if the packaging does not contain the gas barrier, it could evaporate. So if we have hermetic technology or hermetic packaging, the bags are equipped with gas barrier. So that would mean that this aroma or these compounds can be trapped inside, and there would be a better quality for those commodities that are containing these types of compounds. So those are the 2 advantages. Others can mention more. Hermetic technology is more economical compared to vacuum in terms of insect control, because we don't need energy, but with vacuum, we need to maintain a very low partial pressure at 100 millimeters of mercury. And with quality preservation, then it is much better to use hermetic packaging, because it has a barrier that would not allow these aromatic compounds to volatilize.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your
Okay.
reply. And I hope I could get a copy of those advantages and disadvantages so that we can explain clearly to our client. And secondly, is there a possibility for GrainPro to produce such vacuum sealable packaging? Because these clients are really very insistent that they want those types of material. We actually had one inquiry lately, and they're saying they want GrainPro bags to be used for packaging because they're getting GrainPro packaging already from where they're importing the coffee beans. And now they want to use vacuum sealable GrainPro packs, packaging materials, so that maybe they can try it out. Is there a possibility to do that?
Hello, sir. This is Alnor. Yeah. regarding with the development, actually it's on the pipeline. Our engineering department actually is doing the project for vacuum packaging, still on the trial, on the phase of trial. Once we have finished or complete the data gathering, we will inform you as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Sandesh.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Since we're already past for time, it's already 5:30, and the session is, for an hour and a half. For those questions which were not covered in the session, just please send those inquiries to customercare@grainpro.com, and we will be answering those questions for you even offline. Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Hello.
Yeah, this is Devi Prasad from Visakhapatnam. We are dealing with red kidney beans and some beans, grains, and so on. I just want to know at what temperature this insect and this type of infection occurs. Hello.
Hello, sir. What do you mean at what stage does this infestation occurs?
I mean, at what temperature and what is the humidity level this infection to this grains and will affect?
You're referring, sir, to infestation control, I guess?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sir, for infestation, if you have a temperature which is higher than 16 degrees, then you can expect infestation to multiply, and the relative humidity, even though you have a relative humidity of just 50%, you still expect infestation to happen. For better control of infestation, hermetic storage actually controls it through depletion of oxygen, and that causes asphyxiation for these insects.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So I would like to, we are actually 2 minutes past 5:30. I would like to thank everyone who joined us in this call. I hope that you have learned some insights about better storage techniques and how issues of infestation, condensation, and preserving quality can be addressed. Flash on your screen again are the contact information of the GrainPro team. If you have any concerns, please feel free to reach out to any of them. And I wish everyone a good day and a great weekend. Thank you again to everyone who joined us. We hope to see you again in our next webinar.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Salamat po.
Yes, thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you, madam.
Bye. Thank you.